Have you ever noticed a subtle but unpleasant odor and quietly wondered, is that me? You're not alone. Many older adults silently carry this worry, often feeling embarrassed or misunderstood, even when they shower daily and take care of themselves. But here's the truth. It's not your fault. It's simply the natural result of biological changes in the skin and of certain areas that are often overlooked during daily cleaning. The good news? Once you identify these key spots, eliminating the odor becomes surprisingly easy. In this video, we'll reveal 6 specific areas of the body that contribute most to what's commonly called the old person smell. By paying just a bit more attention to these places, you can reduce up to 99% of unwanted odors. From unexpected problem zones to small but effective hygiene adjustments, you'll see how much freshness depends on what's happening beneath the surface. We'll also explain why some people continue to carry a lingering scent despite bathing regularly, and how a few small changes in your routine can make a big difference in how you feel and how others perceive you. Stay with us until the end. When you understand your body better, you can take simple steps to stay fresh, confident, and in control. Let's get started. Let's talk about a spot that almost no one thinks about, but it can quietly affect how fresh you feel. The area right behind your ears. It's a small place, tucked out of sight, easy to miss when you're washing up. And because it doesn't get much attention, it's often left untouched for days. What many folks don't realize is that this little zone is full of tiny oil glands that tend to ramp up their activity as we age. Over time, your skin starts to produce a particular kind of oil that mixes with sweat and dead skin cells. When that blend collects behind the ears without being cleaned, it can give off a musty, damp smell that doesn't always go away even after a shower. Take Walter, for instance. At 79, he bathed regularly and always dabbed on his favorite cologne. But one day, his granddaughter mentioned, very gently, that she noticed an odd smell when they hugged. At first, he was embarrassed. He took pride in staying clean. But his curiosity got the better of him, and he realized he'd never really paid attention to washing behind his ears. He started using a soft cloth on warm water each day, and the change surprised even him. That faint smell disappeared, and just like that, he felt like himself again. See, this isn't about neglect or being unclean. It's about those tiny areas we forget. The skin behind the ears has little folds where oil gathers, especially if you wear glasses. The pressure from the frames can trap buildup even more. The good news? It doesn't take much to freshen things up. A warm, damp cloth during your morning or evening routine is all you need. Just a few seconds can make a big difference. Once or twice a week, using a gentle, non-irritating cleanser helps keep the skin clear without drying it out. There's something emotional about it, too. A lot of older adults remember their parents saying, "Don't forget to wash behind your ears." Over the years, that habit fades, replaced by quicker showers and fewer checks in the mirror. But this little area has more impact than most people realize. Smells that start here can travel upward to your scalp or downward to your neck and clothing. Even if no one says anything, they may notice. If you've ever wondered why certain odors seem to linger despite your best efforts, this could be what's missing. It's not about scrubbing hard or loading up on products. It's about paying attention to the small things. When you reclaim the spaces you stopped noticing, you also reclaim a sense of freshness, Others might not be able to put their finger on it, but they'll feel the difference, and so will you. You'll feel cleaner, lighter, more at ease in your own skin. Sometimes the secret isn't doing more. It's going back to what really matters. Now let's turn to an area most people rarely think about, the back of the neck. Nestled just beneath the hairline and often covered by collars, scarves, or long hair, this spot quietly gets skipped in many folks' daily routines. And yet, it's one of the most underestimated sources of body odor as we grow older. It's where sweat, natural scalp oils, and dead skin come together, and because it doesn't look dirty, we tend to forget it's even there. That's exactly what makes it tricky. There are no obvious marks or signs that something's off, but when this part of the skin isn't washed properly, it becomes a subtle contributor to what many call that older person smell. Take Ruth, for example. At 76, she kept herself in tip-top shape, clean clothes, neatly styled hair, and never a skipped shower. But during warmer days, especially after spending time in the sun, she noticed a faint sour odor, even after getting dressed. After thinking it over, she realized she wasn't really washing the back of her neck at the end of the day. It wasn't until her hairdresser mentioned a bit of buildup along her neck that she gave it the attention it needed. A small tweak to her shower routine solved the issue in just a few days. The truth is, the back of the neck holds on to sweat, especially in warm weather or under layers of clothing. And if you've got long hair brushing against that area, the oils from your scalp can slide down and settle there. Combine that with the heat and pressure from shirt collars or hoods, and you've got the perfect place for bacteria to grow. And it's not the sweat that smells. It's what happens when it lingers too long in a warm, enclosed space. That's when bacteria start doing their thing and the smell follows. Lots of people wash their face and shampoo their hair, but that narrow strip of skin in between often gets missed. Over time, it becomes a hidden gathering spot for odor and buildup. Because it sits so close to the head and shoulders, it can quietly influence how others perceive your cleanliness, especially in close moments, like a hug or sitting side by side. Think about it. When someone leans in for a hug, their nose often lands right there. It's also a spot where body heat gathers in tight spaces, so even someone who's very clean can end up with an unexpected scent if they overlook this little zone. The fix? It's simple. Just take a few extra seconds in the shower with a warm cloth and gently clean the area. Be especially mindful after sweating. The skin should feel smooth and fresh, without that faint sticky film that signals built-up oils. And if you wear cologne or lotion, make sure the skin is clean first, so the scent stays pleasant and doesn't mix with old residue. Beyond the practical side of it, there's something meaningful about caring for these little forgotten spots. It's a quiet way of saying, I still take care of myself. Your body deserves the same care now as it always has. How you feel, how you smell, how you move, it all still matters, especially in the moments you share with others. And when you give these overlooked areas a little love, you're also honoring your own dignity, the kind that carries you through every day. Let's talk about a place most people shy away from mentioning, but it plays a big role in how fresh we feel, right under the breast or in those soft folds of skin that tend to deepen as we age. Whether it's beneath the chest, around the belly, under the buttocks, or anywhere skin rests against skin, these tucked away areas can easily trap heat and moisture. Once that happens, it doesn't take long before a strong, sour smell begins to develop, often without us even realizing it. Patricia, now 72, was always neat and put together. Her home was spotless, her outfits elegant, and she took pride in her appearance. But during the sticky summer months, especially on humid afternoons, she started noticing a faint sour odor even though she showered faithfully each morning. She tried switching detergents, experimenting with deodorants, even updating her wardrobe. Nothing helped. Finally, during a wellness check, a kind nurse suggested gently cleaning and drying the skin beneath her breasts and around her waist every day. Within a week, the smell was gone. What many people don't realize is that after a shower, these areas can stay damp for hours, especially in warmer weather or when layered with clothing. That lingering moisture, along with body heat and lack of airflow, creates the perfect setting for bacteria and yeast to flourish. It's not about being unclean. It's about the environment those skin folds create. These hidden spots are warm, closed off, and often under pressure. Sweat and natural oils get trapped there and start to break down, which leads to that telltale odor. Because they rarely see air or sunlight, they don't dry out easily on their own. For some, it's also a sensitive topic. These parts of the body can feel too private to talk about, let alone tend to. But pretending they don't exist won't make the problem go away. In fact, it only gets worse. As we get older, skin in these areas grows thinner and more delicate. That makes it more prone to irritation and discomfort. If left alone too long, you might notice redness, itching, or even a burning sensation, early signs that your skin is struggling under constant pressure and moisture. Without care, these issues can turn into rashes or infections that make simple movements painful. The bright side is this: just a few small changes in your hygiene routine can make a world of difference. After your shower, use a soft towel to carefully dry any folds in the skin, especially under the breast, along the waistline, or anywhere you tend to sweat. You might also think about using a gentle unscented powder or an absorbent cloth during the day to keep the area dry. Some folks find that placing breathable cotton pads or liners in these spots helps reduce moisture and keeps things feeling fresh. Just steer clear of harsh or heavily perfumed products. They might seem like a quick fix, but they can end up irritating your skin over time. And beyond all that, there's something deeply affirming about taking care of these often overlooked places. When you know you're clean, you move through your day with a quiet confidence. You lean in for a hug without hesitation. You slip into fresh clothes feeling good. You share a moment with others without second-guessing yourself, because you've taken care of the little things, the ones that help you feel your best. That mysterious smell that just won't go away. More often than not, it begins in one of these hidden folds. But once you know where to look and how to care for those spots, everything starts to shift. It's not about shame, it's about awareness. It's about giving yourself the care you deserve. A few extra minutes each day can mean feeling comfortable, confident, and completely yourself again. Let's shine a light on a place that rarely gets the attention it deserves: the scalp and the edges of the hairline. Now, most people think they've got it covered because they wash their hair regularly. But here's the catch. Many of us, especially as we get older, end up cleaning just the hair, not the skin underneath. The scalp isn't just a surface to hold your hair, it's living skin. It produces oils, sheds dead skin, and picks up dust and particles from the air all day long. When those things start to build up, they don't just sit there. they begin to give off a smell. Take Howard, 68, a man who always took pride in looking sharp. His hair was trimmed, tidy, and never out of place. He showered faithfully. Still, on warm afternoons or after wearing a hat, he began to catch a sour, greasy scent coming from his head. He blamed the shampoo at first, but a visit to the barber revealed the truth. He wasn't really washing his scalp. He was just letting the shampoo glide over the top of his hair. Once he started massaging the scalp gently with his fingertips during each wash, the difference was immediate. The smell vanished, and even his hair felt lighter and healthier. As we age, the scalp tends to produce more natural oil, which is meant to keep the skin soft and supple. But if that oil isn't rinsed away, it mingles with sweat, old hair products, and dead skin, leading to a smell that no amount of cologne or hairspray can hide. Add in changes that come with age, like certain medications, slower blood flow to the skin, and a reduction in how much we sweat, and the scalp becomes a quiet collection point for lingering odors. You'll notice it most along the edges, around the temples, the base of the neck, and just behind the ears. Hats, scarves, wigs, they can trap heat and block airflow, turning your scalp into a warm, enclosed space. Even thinning hair, which leaves more skin exposed, can make these smells more noticeable. You may not pick up on it yourself, but someone standing close, your barber, a family member leaning in for a hug, even a friend greeting you with a handshake might notice. It's the kind of thing that people don't usually mention. They just step back a little. The good news? It doesn't take fancy treatments or harsh shampoos to fix this. What really makes a difference is intention. Take your time, use the pads of your fingers, not your nails, and gently work in circles, paying close attention to the top of your head, behind your ears, and at the base of the skull. Rinse thoroughly. Leftover shampoo or conditioner can add to the problem, so it's important to wash it all out. If you use styling products, make sure they're washed away completely too. That buildup is one of the biggest culprits behind scalp odor. And don't underestimate how much this matters, not just for how you smell, but for how you carry yourself. A clean, well cared for scalp doesn't just feel better, it changes the way your hair falls, the way your skin feels, and the way people respond to you. Freshness has a way of being noticed, even when no one can quite put their finger on it. You feel more comfortable, more grounded, more at ease. It's a quiet kind of confidence, the kind that comes from tending to the little things. Here's one that might surprise you: the belly button. It may be small and easy to overlook, but it's one of the most common spots where odor can quietly take hold, and also one of the most often forgotten in our daily routines. Sitting right in the center of your body, the navel is a tiny tucked away space where sweat, dead skin, lint, and bacteria collect over time. Because it's hidden and rarely checked, it becomes a little pocket that few people remember to clean. And once that buildup starts to settle in, it doesn't just sit there, it begins to break down and ferment, slowly producing a smell that many older adults mistakenly blame on other areas of the body, never suspecting it's coming from the middle of their own torso. Charles, age 74, had been puzzled by a stubborn smell that followed him around, no matter how often he showered or changed clothes. He kept his hygiene in good shape and even used antibacterial soap. Still, the odor lingered. It wasn't until his wife gently asked if he'd cleaned his belly button lately that it clicked. He hadn't touched it in years. He started using a cotton swab and warm water, adding his navel to his routine, and within a few days, that persistent smell disappeared completely. For those with a deeper or slightly sunken navel, the shape alone can trap moisture, especially during hot weather or after sweating. If your stomach is a bit rounder, or if your waistband presses against that area, the dampness can stick around for hours without you even noticing. It doesn't take much. Just missing it a few times is enough for the skin's natural bacteria to feed on the trapped debris and create that telltale odor. What makes the belly button tricky is that it doesn't always feel dirty. You don't see anything, you don't feel discomfort, and because it's a closed-off space, the smell tends to creep in gradually. Some people even mistake it for underarm odor or think their clothes are the problem, when the real source is that small central spot on their body. And because it's not a topic that comes up often, most folks never think to check. Cleaning it is simple, but should be done gently. During your shower, use a soft cloth or the pads of your fingers with mild soap and warm water. Gently cleanse inside, no harsh scrubbing or digging. If it's been a while since your last cleanup, you might see some dark residue or a waxy buildup. That's perfectly normal and nothing to be embarrassed about. After rinsing, dry the area thoroughly with a clean towel, making sure no moisture is left behind. If you tend to sweat more, you can do a quick refresh between showers using a cotton swab dampened with warm water or a small amount of alcohol-free toner. Adding this little step to your routine can make a bigger difference than most people realize. The navel sits close to your clothing, your hands, and your torso, right where others may come into close contact during meals, conversations, or hugs. A clean belly button means a cleaner you, in ways that subtly shape how others experience your presence and how you feel in your own skin. It's a tiny act of care that carries a big reward, especially when you realize that something so simple can clear away so much doubt and discomfort from your day. Let's talk about an area most folks don't bring up in conversation, but it plays a big role in how fresh and comfortable you feel: your inner thighs and groin. As we age, this part of the body tends to hold more heat, moisture, and friction than just about anywhere else. That combination creates the perfect conditions for odor-causing bacteria to thrive. Because it's such a private area, many people feel awkward even thinking about it, let alone addressing it. But if you've noticed a smell that lingers even after a shower, or if your underwear seems to hold on to odors no matter how often you wash it, this might be the place to start. Take Leonard, for example. At 81, this retired firefighter took pride in staying active and clean. He walked every morning, showered daily, and wore fresh clothes. Still, by late afternoon, there was an odor he couldn't quite put his finger on. His doctor ruled out infections and gently suggested he give a little extra attention to the folds of skin in the groin and inner thighs. Leonard realized that while he did wash that area, it was usually rushed, so he slowed down, used a gentle soap, made sure to dry thoroughly, and occasionally applied a light moisture-absorbing powder. The change was almost instant. Not only did the odor vanish, but he felt fresher and more at ease throughout the day. This part of the body contains plenty of sweat glands, and as we grow older, the skin softens and may start to sag slightly, creating more folds where dampness can get trapped. Add in tight clothing, synthetic underwear, or long periods of sitting, and the skin doesn't get the air it needs. What starts as simple moisture can quickly lead to irritation, unpleasant smells, or even infections if not addressed. The groin also sits close to our digestive and urinary systems, which can contribute subtle but persistent odors. Friction is another challenge. When your inner thighs rub together, especially on warm days or while wearing non-breathable fabrics, the skin can become irritated, leaving it more open to bacteria. That same rubbing makes it harder for the area to dry fully, particularly if you're in a hurry. Because people don't often talk about this, it's easy to think you're the only one dealing with it. In reality, it's incredibly common. The good news? It's not hard to manage once you know how. You don't need harsh soaps or fancy treatments. A mild, fragrance-free soap and warm water are enough to gently wash the area, making sure to reach into the folds where the thighs meet the pelvis. Once you rinse, take time to dry completely. Use a clean, soft towel to pat the area gently, no rubbing or harsh motions. For those who sweat more, a light talc-free powder can help absorb moisture during the day. Wearing breathable cotton underwear and changing it daily or more often in the heat can also reduce dampness and help you stay fresh. There's real dignity in tending to your body with care. The groin and inner thighs may seem like private territory, but they have a very public impact on how you move, how you interact with others, and how confident you feel. Taking a few thoughtful steps each day brings more comfort than you might expect and helps you feel like your best self, inside and out. As we journey through life, our bodies whisper small reminders that they need our attention, sometimes in places we least expect. From behind the ears to the back of the neck, under the folds of our skin, along the hairline, the navel, and the inner thighs, each of these areas quietly plays a part in how fresh, confident, and comfortable we feel each day. What may seem like minor details can have a powerful impact not just on personal hygiene, but on how we carry ourselves and how others experience our presence. These aren't just tips for staying clean, they are gentle acts of self-respect, a way of honoring the body that has carried us through the years. The beauty of it all, a few extra moments, a little awareness, and a tender touch can restore not only freshness, but a quiet confidence that radiates from within. So take this as your gentle reminder. Your body deserves thoughtful care, every inch of it. Start today with one simple change. You'll be amazed at how something so small can make such a big difference. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, share it with someone who might need it, and leave us a comment below. Tell us, what health topic would you like us to cover next? We'd love to hear from you.